damage as they come upon people so quickly. Let's move on to some of the other political issues of the day now. We're joined from Melbourne by Liberal Senator James Paterson. Thanks for joining us, James. A lot that I wouldn't mind chatting to you about. One thing that's just come up is this word from Beijing that they're not happy with our Foreign Minister Marise Payne pointing out their horrible human rights record. You would say they've got to deal with reality, right?
Chris, I thought that Marise Payne's speech the other night was outstanding. It very clearly set out the principled basis on which we can engage with China, which is, of course, to embrace the wonderful things about our strategic partnership, including the economic benefits to both of our countries from trade, but also that we are not going to abandon our values in the pursuit of that economic relationship, that we're going to continue to be vocal when it's appropriate to do so about the concerns that we have when our values differ. And Marise Payne highlighted a couple of those. I think very crucially, the treatment of the Uyghur people in Xinjiang province and the detention of an Australian citizen in China, we believe, on spurious grounds.
Yeah, I mean, she's just got to do that stuff. Australia has to stay up for stand up for its values and for its citizens in this case. We still run an annual human rights dialogue with China, don't we, too, so we can actually have face-to-face discussions with them about a lot of these issues?
I believe that's right, Chris, and I think whenever Australian government officials meet with their Chinese counterparts, we should focus on both the good things about our relationship and the concerns that we have, the genuine concerns that we have that are grounded in our Australian values, and no one should take that to be anything other than Australia being vocal about its values. It's not an intervention in Chinese domestic affairs. It is not an inappropriate commentary to be made. It is just Australia standing up for the things it believes in.
Now, while we're on international affairs, a lot of focus today, of course, on the death of Donald Trump making much, as he would, of course, as he should, of the American assault that led to the death of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. But, of course, it focuses on that region and what's going on there. And I thought there was a fascinating article by the Australian's foreign editor, Greg Sheridan, today, talking about how the withdrawal from that area, from the Middle East conflicts by both Barack Obama and now Donald Trump has empowered Iran in that region, made, of course, Israel more vulnerable to Iran, and he raised fears of conflict in the region involving Iran. You don't want to get ahead of yourself on these issues, but that is a grave concern, isn't it? The increasing influence of Iran, and especially its posture towards Israel, which it would like to eliminate.
I find, Chris, that Greg Sheridan is always worth reading and listening to very carefully. He's got incredible experience and depth of knowledge in this area, and I think he's right to draw attention to the fact that when Western powers remove themselves from the region, other powers tend to step up, and whether that's Iran or Russia or Turkey or Bashar al-Assad, it might not be in the interests of Western values and national interest if that happens. Certainly we would be concerned if it was a destabilising move in the Middle East, and particularly if it threatened Israel, which is a good friend and ally of Australia.
Now, actually, just on this, there's one of the big talk shows in the US did a cut-up, a piece where they juxtaposed what Barack Obama said after American SEALs eliminated Osama bin Laden compared to what Donald Trump said in recent days. Have a look at this.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
The United States launched a targeted operation against that compound.
They did a lot of shooting, and they did a lot of blasting, even not going through the front door. You know, you think you go through the door. If you're a normal person, you say, knock, knock, may I come in?
After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
He died like a dog.
But his death does not mark the end of our effort.
A beautiful dog, a talented dog.
We give thanks for the men who carried out this operation.
And I don't get any credit for this, but that's okay. I never do. But here we are.
May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
And I'm writing a book. I wrote 12 books. All did very well.
Now, James Paterson, are you concerned about the contrast in tone and style there?
Donald Trump certainly has a unique communications style, Chris, probably uniquely suited to this Twitter age that we're in. I think the substance should be what's of interest and concern to Australians. And the substance here is another terrorist leader is dead, and that's a good thing. Of course, we can't prematurely celebrate the end of those foes in the region, but it's a welcome first step.
Now, I was going to talk to you about the Indigenous voice, so I think we're running out of time, so I'll come back to that another time. Thanks so much for joining us, Senator.
Thanks, Chris.